Welcome back to the Coach Carter College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series here on College Sports Revive. In the last episode, we opened up year 2 with a bang as these UT Martin Skyhawks have been playing the best basketball they have in the entire series. And not counting our loss to number 13 ranked Florida, UT Martin has won 4 out of their first 5 games, all in non-conference. And today we're going to be kicking off conference play as we face the familiar Samford Bulldogs. We are intimately acquainted with this team, especially since this is the same squad that knocked us out of the conference tournament last year. And a quick snapshot of this team stats. As we all know, last year we led Ohio Valley Conference in scoring as a team, but we were also dead last in points allowed. But as you can see, we're in the middle of the pack for points per game scored, but we currently sport the number 1 ranked defense as Coach Carter has made it a priority in his game plan this year and in his recruiting strategy as he picked up Christopher Fay and Luke Lawton, 2 very good defenders. We saw back in Richmond High School when he coached there, Coach Carter loves to play defense and have that turn into easy offense, and it seems like we're really starting to see the potential of this team, and he's really starting to sculpt these UT Martin Skyhawks to his liking. Doing a bulk of the scoring for Samford is 6'1" sophomore guard Matt Payne, and that just shows the type of caliber of players that Samford lost this offseason. Guys like Travis Grangieri and their starting point guard Theo McKee, they don't look as sharp as they do this year, as they have a very, very young lineup, including guys like 7-foot freshman Seneca Lopez starting at center and junior college transfer sophomore Kyle Jeter starting at point guard. So even though Samford is due for a down year this year, being one of the more inexperienced teams in the conference currently, we know their MO. They love to frustrate teams. They're such a well-coached squad, more so on the defensive side of the floor. So let's jump into things as Matt Payne gets it going early. A high bounce off the left iron, but he gets it going with a 3-ball early. Samford sports the first lead of the game, but how about Joey Ballard slashing, beating the zone, handing it off to Giles, as there's the first field goal for our UT Martin Skyhawks tonight. Giles currently 4th in the conference in points per game. And here comes Jared Marino, another first-time starter in this lineup this year, and the ball reversal beats the man-to-man defense as Matt Payne cashes it again. Supporting a 4-point lead are the Samford Bulldogs, and Giles, a great job beating the zone. We know Samford, they throw so many different defensive looks at you, but Giles, just being the smart offensive player he is, cuts baseline and finds Pater. 8 minutes left to play here in the first half. Ball reversal, D. Cartwright, who has done such a good job of leading the bench squad. Whenever the starters come out, D. Cartwright did not shy away, did not become timid after he lost his starting job last year to Dwight Easley. He's continued to work on his game, and he is a great guy to have coming off the bench. And here we go. How about D. Cartwright also picking up the steal? It was tipped by Luke Lawton, and Christopher Fay works it around to Blair Renfro, who cashes in from the right wing. Blair Renfro knows his role. When we need some tray balls, especially against the zone, he checks in and he fills it. Now, another tip pass from Luke Lawton. Fay, Cartwright, going over, this time from the left wing. It's Renfro. He's done it from both wings already here in the first half. A quick 6 points as UT Martin has their biggest lead of the ball game. Now they go inside. There is Kevin Schiller. Schiller, one of the first guys off the bench for Samford. He likes to score the rock down low. Nice pass by Kyle Jeter, as he's made a few of those here in the early stages. Now down by 3. Samford trying to get a stop, but look at Marcus Saunders. Saunders slicing and dicing the defense, continuing to develop into one of the most prolific scorers in the entire conference, and he's only a sophomore. Now, another guy who's young and can do a little bit of slashing himself, Dwight Easley, finds room on the baseline and scores over Corey Womack. But Womack would not leave that layup unanswered, as he had a great game against us last year in the playoffs, and he's got 2 triples here in the first half in this game as well. Now Dwight Easley has another ISO chance, another big guy on him. He stops, blows by him, fade away. That's pure. Oh my goodness, Dwight Easley taking ankles. Samford having trouble matching up against these red-hot Skyhawks, especially when they want to ISO, which is probably why they're using so much zone, as Jared Marino, no good on the 3, but Andy Kingston gets his revenge for getting his ankles broken. Christopher Fay, tough defensive day for him, as Samford, despite the graduation of Travis Grangieri, they had plenty of guys who could score the rock from down low, but the shot clock turns on. You already know who we're going to give it to. Dwight Easley, another fadeaway. This one is also good from just inside the 3-point arc. And you already know Dwight Easley's MO. When that shot clock turns on, we're always looking to get the ball in his hands. He's so good, an uncanny knack to just make it at the end of the half. But don't let that good end to the half fool you. Samford is still hanging with us and making us very frustrated on the offensive side, as that's what we always expect from these guys. And Gary Westbrook still scoreless in the game, as Ballard's doing a great job on him as he blocks it there. Giles leads the break, takes his man one-on-one, but dishes it out to Marcus Saunders, who rattles home a three-pointer, 8 points for the sophomore. Now up by 5, Csrter tries it, and the smallest guy on the court gets his second chance opportunity to go, collects his own miss, and puts it in. And then on the other end though, they forget about David Giles. How could you do that? Number 4 in the conference in points per game right now. But Samford making a few baskets. It's a 1-point game, but a tough shot from David Giles. He gets to go with the man right in his face. 8:56 left to play. Matt Payne finds Kevin Schiller. Nice post move on top of Christopher Fay as he continues to struggle down low this game. I hate to harp on the bad parts of Christopher Fay, as he's had a quietly good freshman campaign, but he definitely had a tough one in this one. Matt Payne off the inbound. Nice play, setting up the leading scorer for the Samford Bulldogs as he eclipsed his average on the season with that tray ball. He is now 14 on the game, and Seneca Lopez collects his 5th steal on Floyd Zubek. Off to the races, it's Matt Payne, of course. Who else would end that break for Samford? Knotted up at 39, Saunders tries to take the lead. No good, but Easley showing us once again that he is such an unpredictable player. He fakes like he's going to set up the offense, and he just takes it baseline. He made it look so easy. Dwight Easley always showing us that he will bring something that we've never seen to the table each game. Trey Holcomb misses a 3. Seneca Lopez finally cashes in from down low. Zubek struggles on offense, but he's been doing a good job on the 7-foot freshman. Here we go. Zubek, cross-court pass, Easley, shot clock turned on, no problem. Calm, cool, and collected for the sophomore. We have a lead again, and Easley will not stop there. Even better pass this time, leading Ballard right down through the heart of the paint. And it looks like UT Martin wants to match this Samford defensive intensity. Fully Zubek goes airborne trying to get that steal, and then on the perimeter, Marcus Saunders tips the three-point attempt. Off to the races. It sets up an ISO opportunity as Dwight Easley takes it on the 5'10" Csrter. Way too easy for Easley. 15 on the game for him as he's making it look so easy. Now Gary Westbrook finally breaks into the scoring column. He's second on Samford in scoring, but Ballard's done a great job on him now. With 5 seconds left, we want to go to Easley at the end of the shot clock, and they know this, so they trap him. All to Saunders, and he knocks it down. The biggest shot of the night from any Skyhawk, as one sophomore assists to another one, and it's now a 7-point lead. But Westbrook starting to get a little bit more acquainted with the offense as he finds a layup in transition. Now we're at 2 minutes left to play. Tip pass inside, but it goes right into the hands of Gary Westbrook, who has been frustrated tonight, but he's finally getting some shots to go. And just like that, it's a one-possession game as Csrter drives the lane. Seneca Lopez from the perimeter, barely missing that one. And now UT Martin, with 45 seconds left, can sit on it for a little bit. And we're going to take it down to 10 seconds remaining on this possession. Easley tries it. Not a very good look there. 15 seconds left. Samford's got one last chance at forcing overtime. Swinging the ball around. Jared Marino goes inside to Westbrook. Csrter has an open shot, but he gives it to Seneca Lopez, the freshman. And the young gun cannot make us pay. With 3.4 left to go on the clock, they start fouling, and it would just be too little too late for the Samford Bulldogs. Another low-scoring, defensive-minded game, as we expected nothing less from this opponent. But we open up conference play 1-0, but a lot of credit due to Samford, even though they lost a lot of seniors, a big class going on and graduating. They still look like they're going to be a pretty formidable opponent here in conference play, and they have a chance to make some noise if they stick to their principles. We just happen to play a little bit better than them on offense today, as we take this game and we win it by 3. We're going to go ahead and simulate the next 2 games in conference play, and we split them. A loss to Morehead State, who looks like the favorites this year to take the OVC crown here in conference. They've played 3 conference games so far. They've won all of them, including a 4-point win on our home floor. The 2 other games they played were blowouts, so at least we didn't get blown out. but these guys look really strong this year. They didn't have many seniors graduating. They look so deep, especially on offense. We fell behind as big as 14 in the first half. We were able to close it by 11 and outscore them by 7 in the second half. But we had to play catch up after they started out red hot, and we just couldn't do it. So we got one more game to recap before we play the next game in person, and it would be a 3-point win, another home game for us against Eastern Illinois, who don't look very good this year. They made the conference playoffs last year, but they start out really struggling in conference play this year. We were able to take advantage as we were able to get past Quentin Cole's 16 for the win, as Csrter suffers a broken nose in that game, unfortunately. He's been playing really well, showing some flashes of future greatness, but he's going to be a little dinged up here in the Fairleigh Dickinson game. FDU from the Northeastern Conference out of Teaneck, New Jersey. We make the travel up there to face them in our second to last non-conference game of the schedule. Their top player is 6-foot senior guard Tavarius Blanchard, averaging 15 points per game, and not only does he lead FDU in that category, but he also leads their conference in points per game as well. Kyle Fernandez at 13.3 a game, another good scorer who is also averaging near 3 steals a game. So a tough matchup for Dwight Easley. Also Cooper Lunan, who pitches in 9 and 7 rebounds, a good 3-point shooter who can crash the boards. It's a very interesting matchup on paper. FDU averaging over 70 points per game as a team, also leading their respective conference. So let's get down to the Rothman Center. This is a gym that has hosted plenty of high school talent. The Rothman Center has hosted camps with guys such as Kevin Love, Carmelo Anthony, and even LeBron when they were in high school. But we're not going to be focusing on those guys. Let's zone in on these UT Martin Skyhawks as FDU gets on the board first, thanks to Cooper Lunan. And this game's quickly turning into a track meet already, going back and forth here in the first few minutes of the ball game. Marcus Saunders, that would be the first of his many points here tonight. But Tavarius Blanchard answers back, that shot rimming in as he has his first tray ball. And he also displays some nice passing. There's Robin Moeller, who cashes another 3-pointer for the Knights tonight. If you have any more doubt about just how skilled Tavarius Blanchard is with the ball in his hands, look at this. A sliver of space with 2 Skyhawk defenders in his path, and he doesn't care. Another 3 is knocked home from him, but Saunders continues with his special night. Nice job by David Giles opening up the lane for Saunders as they beat the zone to perfection, knotted back up at 15. These two offenses going back and forth, and there's some nice defense finally played by one of these teams, as it's now Jerry Yates, the 7-footer, bringing up the ball as Blanchard's left wide open, as the lead is up to 5, the biggest lead for the night for either side. And D. Cartwright off the inbound, a rookie mistake there. Lunan scoops up the loose change, gives it out to Kyle Fernandez, who gets in on the fun. 23-15 here in the early goings. And whenever our backs are against the wall, especially on offense, we have so many options. It's just a matter of finding who's going to step up, and Saunders proves that question is answered with his known name, as they also forget about him on the inbound. He pockets another triple from that left corner. Saunders with 15 of the Skyhawks' first 23 as a team. 4:16 left to play. They've dwindled the lead down to 4. Nice handoff pass from Cartwright. There's Gene Schofield pulling up from about 6 feet out. And a basket on this possession can tie up the game, as here is Cartwright at the top of the key as he finds the fitting Giles for a 3-ball. And that's what you got to do against a team like FDU. This team plays almost exclusively 1-3-1 defense. That zone, that's what you got to do to beat that 1-3-1. We've got to work them corners. And Tavarius Blanchard's pass is picked off. Zubek scoops it up. Outlet pass to D. Cartwright, which ends in an assist to David Giles. The two high-powered offenses continue to go back and forth, and they break the press here. But how about the confidence displayed by Marcus Saunders, swishing home another triple? There's a team for him on the ball game, and if you thought he was going to be done there, no shot. Ballard tips a pass, and Saunders goes coast to coast on top of Tavarius Blanchard. He gets the end one to fall, as he is now at 20 points here in the first half. His career high is 29 last year against Eastern Kentucky in the last few games of the season, but he's already reached 21 after that free throw drops, and we're up by 7. But hey, a career high, a career record, school record doesn't mean anything if we can't close out this game and get the win. But that doesn't mean it's still crazy to watch what Saunders is doing here tonight, here in Teaneck, New Jersey. And we all know Coach Csrter wants to give Saunders a heat check. We don't see this play called too much, a post up for Saunders, but a hop step past Robin Mueller, and he puts in yet another bucket. And it was really a team effort tonight getting Saunders all these points. Watch Joey Ballard on the left block, sealing off Saunders' man, giving him a wide open look, the best look he's going to have all night from the three-point line. Ballard just doing more of the little things that coach is asking him after he converted to a power forward role, and David Giles picks off the lazy pass by Blanchard, and you already know who's going to finish that break. Marcus puts the layup high off the window for his 27th and 28 points of the night. Now up by 14, the lead slowly growing, and Cooper Lunan was one of the guys who kept the Knights in the game. Blanchard had 11 in the first half for the Knights, but he's been held scoreless here in the second, and Lunan's performance was really key for the Knights to at least making competitive as they try to weather the storm by Saunders. And speaking of the devil, crossover, step back over the 6'7" Andre Frederick as he has 35 on the night, and Tavarius Blanchard out of control there, obviously frustrated here in the second. And how are you going to leave the man with 35 points wide open? There it is once again, the Knights. Why are they not attacking him when he crosses the half-court line? I just don't understand. Kyle Fernandez and company trying to remain composed, and that's exactly what Cooper Lunan does here on the end one, as Blanchard gives him a couple high fives there. Cooper Lunan is a Bronx, New York native, as he continues to have a good second half here. He's one of the better freshmen in all of the conference, as he pockets another one from the perimeter. Most of his 15 coming in the second half. We'll have to see if it'll be enough. It'll take a lot to try to compete with this career performance we're seeing from Marcus Saunders tonight. And off of the timeout, Coach Csrter tries to stick Joey Ballard on Cooper Lunan, but kind of lazy defense there off the inbound. You don't see that from Ballard too much. And he sits at 18 points on the night. And here is Quinn Gaines going backdoor, short on the layup. Leading the break is D. Cartwright with a nice pass inside to Luke Lawton, who finds his way in the scoring column. That's 4 assists off the bench for Cartwright. 5 minutes left to play as Tavarius Blanchard finally gets one to go. Only 5 points for him here in the second half, however. Just not enough offense from FDU tonight, and the defense has a lot of people questioning what they're doing. Leaving Saunders off the inbound wide open. Yes, that is 40 for him tonight. And I think that is a perfect place to cut this game and get it wrapped up, as behind a new school record for points in a game, Tennessee Martin knocks off FDU by 15 up here in Teaneck, New Jersey. And Saunders with an unreal performance tonight, 40 points behind 7 made 3 balls. Not only did he shatter his personal record of 29 points, he also breaks the school record of Shaquille Hammond's 38 back in year 1 against Chattanooga. And Shaquille's 38 points was in a losing effort, but this time Saunders breaks the school record and gets the dub. So we can celebrate a little bit. Coach Csrter not really one for all that, but even he knows that this is a big time accomplishment, we can't celebrate for too long, as our last non-conference opponent of the entire slate this year is the number 3 ranked Washington Huskies, sitting at 11-1 right now. They're fueled by the Conference Player of the Year in the Pac-12 last year, Francis Everhart, projected lottery pick in the NBA draft. And he's not the only guy either. Preston Latham outscores anybody on our roster in points per game, and he's second on the Huskies. Gerald Bell, good two-way player. DeJuan Gardner, he's one of the best passers in the Pac-12, as he averages just a hair under 6 a game, along with his 11 points per game. So this is a popular Final Four pick for a lot of people. This might be the best roster that the Huskies have had in their entire school's history. And I'm only going to recap a few plays and give you guys the rundown on the game tonight. It got kind of ugly in the second half, but at the end of the game, our UT Martin Skyhawks made it a lot more respectable at the final buzzer. The Huskies' biggest lead would be in the second half at 15 points. And with a couple minutes left to go, our Skyhawks went on a bit of a run and closed it to 6 when the final buzzer rang. So overall, another pretty impressive game. It was similar to the Florida game in the aspect that we didn't get blown out like we thought we would. At the same time, Washington's still one of the best teams in the NCAA. It's not really practical that we would hang with a team like this, let alone beat them, but we were able to make it pretty interesting at some points here in the ball game. Did a good job on Francis Everhart. Floyd Zubek and Joey Ballard seemed to bring double teams his way when he got the ball in the post. And as you can see here, it's only a 4-point game. It was 16 at one point, but Skyhawks making it interesting here at the end. But the leading scorer for the Huskies this afternoon would be number 4 Preston Latham, who is second on the roster in points per game. And in a very similar fashion to the Florida game, this is another matchup with a top 25 team that, even though we didn't win, it is very impressive that we were able to hang with a team like this for so long. Even though it showed up as an L in the record books, we could take this as a win as we fall to 7-4 to begin conference play for the rest of the season. And in our next conference game, a very bad loss here. Jacksonville State, one of the weaker teams in the entire conference. They didn't make the playoffs last year. They probably won't this year as well. We dropped this game, fall to 7-5 and 2-2 overall. And we will continue to assimilate through the Southeast Missouri State game. It was an overtime game. This team brought us to triple overtime last year. Weren't able to sneak that one out, but this one we take from the Red Hawks. We're 3-2 in conference play as we travel in this game to Samford. And in the rematch, we sweep the season series against these guys, putting up 75 against this tough defense to operate against. But if there's one takeaway in this dent that we're making here in conference play through simulation, is that UTM maybe not looking as sharp here in conference play as they did before they reached this slate. 4-3 so far after a loss to our rivals, Murray State. We beat them last year to get into the playoffs, so we're top of them for that A seed, but they get their revenge. But here we go, there's a nice win. We take down the Gamecocks at Jacksonville State by 12 at home, improving to 10-6, 5-3 in OVC play, but we didn't make it out completely unscathed. Joey Ballard pulled his hamstring right when Christopher Fay and Luke Lawton get healthy. Another player becomes dinged up, and we're going to need him for this tough matchup against Tennessee Tech, a road game, as we try to get back on track. They're led by Calvin Hoffman, 10.5 a game, but they like to spread out the attack. Senior forward standing at 304 pounds, 6'9", Draylon Daniels at 10 a game, along with 7 rebounds. Tennessee Tech located in Cookeville, Tennessee, as we make the 3-hour bus ride, cutting across most of the state to play this matchup. It's a very imposing environment, one of the more tough places to play here in the OVC, as Zubek and Daniels meet each other at center court, and Tennessee Tech will have the first possession in this nail-biter of a game. Just wait till you see the ending to this one. But before we can get there, we gotta highlight plays like Joey Ballard taking it off the dribble and scoring in the heart of the paint, and Calvin Hoffman answers back, tying it up with a 3-pointer of his own. Both offenses a little bit sluggish to start this game, only 18 combined points, but how about Ballard crashing the glass, taking it and putting it in on top of multiple defenders, playing dinged up, but he's not looking like it so far in this one. And Giles bangs the triple, 9 points for him on the ball game. He started out hot, but he started to go cold in favor of other guys who started to step up for this UT Martin offense. Even guys like Christopher Fay got in the mix as he puts in those second chance points. UT Martin, though, starting to really look bad on offense. Dwight easily would make a 3 here to keep them within 1, but UTM only scored 6 points as a team in the final 6 minutes of the first half, as Calvin Hoffman way too much space by Dwight Easley as he caught that one clean and let it rip. But it wasn't just Calvin Hoffman leading the way, as freshman Tyrese Clausen catches and fires from the right wing. I'm going to be saying his name a lot, especially in the second half. A 6-point lead now. Hoffman, a little 2-man game between him and Draylon Daniels, as the big body Daniels cashes in from underneath. Zubek would have to leave the floor as he had 3 personal fouls in the first half. So with Zubek fighting foul trouble, we're going to have to see guys like Gene Schofield and Christopher Fay step up. And speaking of Gene, he puts in another basket from down low. A pretty good episode for him today. And since Coach Csrter took the job here, we've seen the Skyhawks be a pretty disciplined team overall. But you see that play? Yeah, there was a lot of that here, especially near the end of the first half. Bad turnover by Csrter, and it leads to a Cartwright layup, you might say. But Cartwright's too fancy on the fast break chance, and he puts the second chance opportunity off the bottom of the rim, leading to a beautiful dish. There is Tyrese Clausen putting in his third field goal of the ball game, and Cartwright is getting benched. And I know every basketball club is going to go through their ups and downs on offense, but this is just really concerning because they've never looked this undisciplined under Coach Csrter. But there's a positive play. Gene Schofield, nice dish to Saunders. Marcus has had plenty of struggles on offense, but you know him, he's a microwave. He'll turn it on when he needs to. But Clausen, Joey Ballard made it really hard for him to make that shot, but sometimes good offense just triumphs good defense. And now with 7 seconds left, you already know who we're going to. Crossover, lefty finish for the right-handed easily. With 7 points, he is second on the team in scoring heading into the intermission. But overall, just a very flaccid and disappointing first half of action for our UT Martin Skyhawks. We haven't seen this unit this disorganized on offense since Coach Csrter stepped in. But we're going to see if they can try to rebound. But Marcus Saunders not putting his best foot forward, getting ripped on the baseline. And Cowens is assisting to Bishop Walker, the point guard, as Tennessee Tech picks up right where they left off. Walker had 5 assists in the first half. He's the man running the show, and look at this pick play right here for Clausen popping up. Saunders too slow. No talking, no communication, nobody calling out that screen. And the lead swells to 13 as here is Webster. But finally some defense being displayed. Giles knocks it loose, and it leads to a Marcus Saunders finish on the other end. Only 5 points for him today. Only a second made field goal, as it's still a double-digit lead. But Garrison Farmer, who was really good today, he coughs it up and easily with a tough finish. Once again going with his offhand, but he's the first Skyhawk player in double figures. And now here's Giles. We're still down by 10 plus, but here is David assisting to Christopher Fay off the pick and roll. And right now, with everybody struggling, or mostly everybody at least, it doesn't matter who's going to score the points. We just got to continue to stay together and work as a team. Still 11 as Floyd Zubek and Blair Renfro, the duo going back and forth. Wow, that is a combination you don't hear about too much, but that's exactly what we mean as working as a team. Even Floyd Zubek and Blair Renfro, 2 guys who don't see the same court a lot, they get it done, and on the next possession, Renfro comes in clutch again. We have to stay together during these moments, especially in an environment as unpredictable as this one. Right now, it's 10,000 plus people going against us 15 guys, and we need to stay together as Luke Lawton puts in the crazy layup. Every once in a while, you'll see Lawton get in on the stat sheet, scoring the ball. Nice job from Cartwright keeping his head up and assisting the freshman. And now here's Saunders on the baseline. He's had his struggles today, but Coach still calls his number, and he delivers. Marcus Saunders with one of the craziest layups I've ever seen. He gets it around the taller defender and kisses it off the glass. Air Jordan-esque indeed, and this is why these players love playing for Coach Csrter. When they go to battle, they know that despite the night they've had so far, Coach Csrter will still continue to have faith and trust in his players. And those 2 guys right there, Easley and Saunders, congratulating each other after that layup. These 2 guys have brought so much life into this program, even as sophomores. And now here's Saunders. Can he do it again? Bang! From the right wing. He's a microwave, I'm telling you. He'll heat up when he needs to. 11 for Saunders, and 10 of those 11 coming in the second half. Draylon Daniel short on the layup. Our defense finally starting to come around as Saunders goes one-on-one with this defender, and he fights through 2 guys bumping him, and he would draw free throws. And some big news here in the second half of action, as Tennessee Tech's been really quiet about it, but in the first few minutes of the second half, we saw Calvin Hoffman leave for the locker room. Seems like he left with an undisclosed injury, and the Golden Eagles will be out his services for the rest of the game. So there goes their leading scorer as they try to hold off the Skyhawks. Saunders knocked down 2 of 2 there as Giles finds him again. A jab, a pump fake, as he hands it off to Floyd Zubek. They work the ball around, and this time it's Giles finally getting back in the scoring column. 17. He hasn't shot the best from the floor, but he gets it done here as UT Martin with their first lead of the night. The comeback kids right now. Every time they get down, you can't count them out. But one guy who was key for Tennessee Tech and their late surge is Garrison Farmer. Draylon Daniels got his pocket picked, but Farmer, the first player out of 3 Navy jerseys near the loose ball, he beats them all and he flushes it down on top of Zubek. He is a guy you always have to keep an eye on due to his hustle, and we're knotted up at 59 with less than 2 minutes to play. And then a lazy pass from David Giles. Bishop Walker, who's been so good dishing the ball today, he finished the game with 9 assists, but here are his 8th and 9th points of the game, as he has had 7 of those in the second half. But here comes Ballard in the Skyhawks offense. The rotation to Saunders. Their defense is all out of whack, and he finds an open jump shot from the perimeter. 17 on the ball game for Saunders as he continues to get it done. And even in the clutch moments, Coach Carter wants them to continue to pressure full court. And TJ Cowens with a bad turnover there. The sophomore throws it away. Way too lackadaisical on the inbounds pass. With 1:25 left to play, UT Martin has a chance to take the lead. Saunders again, 20 for him on the night. He continues to get it done in the late stages of each ball game. And here is Draylon Daniels from the outside, off the back iron. And here we go. UT Martin takes it down with 39 seconds left to go, 15 on the shot clock. They have a chance to extend it to 2 possessions, and Saunders tries it again, but this one is well short. And so Tech has one last chance to try to force overtime, and they go to Cowens, no good. Draylon Daniels, also no good. But Garrison Farmer, such a hard-working player. And Ballard takes the inbound, and he's struggling to get it in, but finally, a risky pass, but just manages to get it to Easley. Garrison Farmer, with his hustle tonight, has kept Tech within striking distance, but Dwight Easley, he's been in this situation many times before. When we need free throws, he's our guy, as that one just swishes through due to the friendly bounce, and there's no doubt about the second one. A 3-point game, 18 seconds left. Let's see what Tech has drawn up. It's Daniels with a quick shot. No good, but Garrison Farmer again, and the defense is all out of position as Bishop Walker, with ice in his veins, ties it up at 66 with 9 seconds to go. Everybody was all out of sorts after Garrison Farmer kept yet another play alive here in the clutch time of this ball game. And we have one more chance to get it done in regulation. 6 seconds left. Easley to Saunders. They want to rotate it around. Giles, he's done it before, but this one is off the mark. It seems like every conference game so far this season has gone down to the wire, and this one against Tech is no exception. But look at the heads-up play by TJ Cowens as he steals the jump ball, and that leads to a layup put in by Garrison Farmer, who has 15, doing a great job making up for the scoring they lost by Calvin Hoffman having to leave with injury, and TJ Cowens making up for his turnover at the end of regulation. Giles just got stuck on Draylon Daniels down low. Things going bad, turning to worse here as Saunders has another chance to score, but he misfires, and Tech runs the break. Cowens with a beautiful dish. Passes don't get much better than that as Clausen puts in another layup, 73 to 66. We need a run, and we need it now. Our offense has to be very time sensitive as we don't have a lot of time to work with, as Schofield doing a great job filling in for Ballard, who is still a little hobbled with that hamstring injury. It's been mostly Schofield here in the OT period at the power forward position. And Giles gets a steal, his 4th on the game, and it's Easley who does a great job of finding the trailer on the break. What a smart play by the freshman, as Zubek, who's missed most of regulation due to foul trouble, he's got some fresh legs here to work with in the overtime period, and that should really benefit him here at the free throw line and in overtime in general. There's his first field goal, and he currently has 3 points on the game, the biggest 3 points for these Skyhawks here tonight, as it's Cowens muscling his way into the paint. He misfires on the layup, and here comes Giles. Nice pass over to Saunders, who is hacked on the layup by Bishop Walker, who has 4 personal fouls at this point. One more, and their star point guard is out of the game. Tying it up after 2 shots from the charity stripe, and here is Dwight Easley, who can't get the biggest shot of the night to fall. Jalen Daniels with a nice outlet pass as Walker takes that feed and he runs all the way with it, going coast to coast. 9 assists, like I said, for him on the night, but his scoring's come alive here in the second half. And Giles tries to tie up the game, but that's swatted by Garrison Farmer with yet another clutch play. Unreal the type of hustle this guy brings to the table. And here's Clausen as they work it around to Walker. Tries a tough layup, and he misses, but he collects his own miss. And the shot clock turns off. Easley's pressuring the ball, almost gets a steal. Can't create the magic that Easley had in the Belmont game where he took the steal and made the layup to tie it, so we're forced to foul. And we're going to send the sophomore, TJ Cowens, to the free throw line. He's made some good plays, made some bad plays in this game, and he can't deliver. So with 20 seconds left, we have one last chance to finally send these guys home packing. Tennessee Martin needs 2 to tie, 3 to win, easily at the controls with 10 to go, and it looks like the way he's surveying the court, he wants to go for the win. 5 seconds left, back and forth between him and Giles, step back, easily, corner for the win. His shot was straight as an arrow. It looked so good out of his hand, but it just rimmed off to give us another loss here in conference play. But good sportsmanship by Garrison Farmer in Tennessee Tech. He was the first guy to console Easley after he missed the game-winning 3, and it didn't stop there. Handshakes all around between these two clubs, as both clubs know that this will go down in history as one of the best games we've played on this channel. And Tennessee Martin has done their fair share of sneaking out games here in year 2, and we were due for losing a close one like this, especially in a game where we didn't really play our best. Almost kind of didn't deserve to win this one, but that doesn't mean that this loss doesn't sting any less, you know. So we continue to move on. Let's take a look at the conference standings. 5-4 in conference play, 10-7 overall. That loss drops us below Tennessee Tech. We're 5th right now in the conference, and you need obviously a top 8 seed to participate in the conference tournament, as we all know. And we're in a pretty interesting spot in the season, and let me tell you why. Last year, at this spot in the calendar, we were fighting for even an 8th seed to try to make the playoffs. But we sit at 5th right now in the conference, only 3 games out of 1st place compared to Morehead State, who sits at 8-1 in conference play. So we look a lot better compared to last year at this point, but we haven't looked as convincing this season in conference as we did out of conference. So a lot of questions we need to get answered if we're going to get this ship straight. And the conference slate doesn't get a whole lot easier as we try to continue to get it going. We face possibly the best player in the conference, Jasper Powell and the Tennessee State Tigers at their place. Also with matchups against Eastern Kentucky, who's always tough. Our rivals, Murray State, who have already beat us once this year. And a rematch against Tennessee Tech, you see down there, the 12th. So a lot of big games, a lot of marquee matchups coming up in the next episode, so stay tuned.